Happy Monday. Let's cook. I haven't had breakfast yet. It's a crack at 2:30. So I'm gonna make this dish because it's good. It's filling, it's hearty, it's a great winter dish. If you're into the meatless Monday thing or whatever you like to do, this is great. It's great as a side. We like just eating it by itself. So I'm putting in some, I keep my coconut oil that is now burning in the, sorry, let me do that in the fridge. Sorry about that. We're going in strong here, going in strong. Hello, I'm Angela. I'm making a vegetarian dish. This is a chickpea spicy. You like spicy? We're the Spice Girls. So yeah, we're gonna make this curry here. And I really love this dish. Now I'm gonna make it a little different from the original recipe, but I'm gonna say what the original recipe is. So I just added some coconut milk, oil. And then I have a whole red onion here. Now they recommend doing this over rice. We just like it plain. And I like to add extra to everything. That's why I'm not going to follow the recipe. So, and I have some sweet potatoes in the freezer that I might end up adding to this, just depending on what I end up with. But this is a very forgiving dish. You can add, subtract, whatever you like. Are you supposed to get snow up there, Angela? Now here, does anyone know?
Yeah. That is their cat.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
and it's an indoor-outdoor cat, so I'll put it down and pop it
good.
inside. I did let them know about the bird in their shed.
Okay.
So hopefully they'll take care of that in due course.
Okay. Yeah, we've had a cat issue. Well, you saw the gardening video where we had the cat all over. We didn't know. We have new neighbors, and I guess they just got a cat that we didn't know about, so we weren't sure it was theirs. And I saw it go in their little shed last night, but I didn't see, I wasn't keeping an eye on them. I didn't see it come out, and I just looked over there, and it was like I saw something over there. So I thought, oh no, I hope he didn't, because he had seen the cat go in, come out. And so I was afraid that the cat was trapped. And they're pretty far away, but it kept looking like there was white movement in there. So I had Chris go over and check, and he looked in there, but he did see a bird flying back and forth in there, so. But we have confirmed whose cat it is, at least. I wish people would leave cats indoors. They live much longer. All right, so we got our garlic. Now I like extra garlic. So what do they call for in this recipe? They call for 3 cloves of garlic. I think I put 4 in. But, now we're just going to put, I didn't super clean. I peeled the potatoes roughly. I don't mind a little bit of the skin. Then, roughly, I put in 2 potatoes and some greens out of the garden. recipe calls for 1 large sweet potato. Now, I can always add some collard greens to this. You just have to have some greens. And I looked online. There are different recipes. Some have spinach. Some have kale. Like I said, I might add some greens to this later. Or now. I know I have some turnip greens left over from last night. So I will add those in. Let me tell you, those turnip greens were so good. And the turnip that we roasted was fabulous. It was the sweetest turnip I've ever had. So tasty. It is so tasty. So yeah. I guess it's a good thing that the neighbors couldn't see me putting their cat on kitty timeout. Because he kept attacking the netting and everything. So what was funny about the cat, if you would walk, he would run after you. And any leaf that moved, he would jump at. And he was a crazy wild cat. But yeah, at one point we put him over into our fence just so we could get our work done. We were taking turns holding the cat. And there's like no way. We spent so much more time with the cat than getting work done. Alright, so once we've added our sweet potatoes, we're going to, and the kale, garlic, onion, we're going to add the spices. So my spices are going to be different from theirs. So I'm going to add, I have a bag of turmeric here. I'm going to add, calls for a teaspoon. I'm going to add probably a little more than a teaspoon. And it calls for a teaspoon of cumin, which I'm just going to I like a lot of cumin. And I saw other recipes that called for red curry. I've not put red curry in this, but today I am. But I don't think they called for cumin, and I'm also going to put some ginger in, because I like ginger. Probably enough of that. So, but yeah, this basic recipe, the first time I had it, just called for, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of turmeric. So, I put in as good. Of course, you want to cook your spices, but not burn them. It brings out that fragrance and it smells amazing in here already. Got a can of, okay, so it calls for cayenne, and what I'm substituting here is a can of no salt Rotel. And I do that for a lot of recipes that call for serrano pepper or a little spicy pepper. And tomatoes, I'll just add Rotel. Saves me from having to buy just one serrano pepper. And it gives it a nice, the nice spice. But this recipe calls for half a teaspoon of cayenne. So we've got and it calls for 15 ounces of diced tomato, but of course the Rotel is only 10. So I'm a rebel. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm an eager. You're an eager, huh? That's great. All right, so now, Angela, next time I go live on my computer, not YouTube live, remind me to make you a mod, please. You're always in here. But I'm pretty lucky. I have good viewers. So there's my leftover turnips. We're going to get those used up. My leftover turnip greens. I roasted the turnip separate from the greens because I really wanted to taste the turnip. The recipe calls for a half cup of vegetable broth, but I had some liquid in there with the turnip greens. So I'm going to add a can of garbanzo or chickpeas that have been rinsed and drained and rinsed. And then I'm going to add a can of full fat coconut milk here. Like I said, I can adjust spices and flavors down the road. Now, the original recipe it didn't call for a full can, but what do you do with the rest of the can unless you're going to make another curry dish, right? Or have another recipe to use it for. I guess you could freeze it, but for me, I open the can. I'm going to freeze a lot of this anyway. So, but the original recipe calls for, where is it? 1/2 cup of coconut milk. So that was what, probably about a full cup. Five, three. It was a cup and it was almost, really? It said 1/3 of a cup, and there are 5 servings, so that would be 1 2/3. So I just dumped the whole thing in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to add another can of garbanzo beans to this. Although I like the soupiness of this as it is right now. It's more of a soupy stew. And this has to cook down a lot still because the sweet potatoes have to get tender. So that's pretty much it. It's a crazy easy meal. It comes together. It's one pot. Like I said, you could, and if you don't like garbanzo beans, I would recommend putting lentils in this. If you have some red dal lentils, that would be good in there too. Or if you want just some legume instead of the peas. I like the peas and rice would add a really nice protein to this meal. Keep it totally vegetarian. Lovely. So it's pretty much all I'm cooking today. I made a roast last night with the turnips, carrots, potatoes, onion, and yeah. So I'm just going to let this cook until the sweet potato gets tender. And that's it. So what are you doing today, Angela? Yeah, it's super, super easy. I love this recipe. I gave it to some friend, and what will happen too, that sweet potato kind of it'll start kind of getting soft on the outside, and then it'll leave it'll thicken it up a bit once the sweet potato gets a little cooked better. have my hair back because I was washing my hair. And I'm losing a lot of hair these days, so when I cook, I like to pull it out. An air fryer for a company looks like a Jetsons appliance. That's awesome. That's awesome. I have zero air fryer. I have a my mother-in-law got me the Instapot, but I rarely use it. I'm so old school. Oh, cool. I'm so old, kind of old school that I like everything about cooking. And so when you put it in a Instapot, there's no stirring, there's no, I mean, you get a little bit of smell. Smell tends to get a little bit trapped. And I like the bubbling. I like that it hits all the senses, you know. And we don't do too much fried food. I might I might if I had an air fryer, but I don't know. I don't know. I like fried onions, not onion rings, but I just coat them in flour and fry them, and for a dish I make. Yeah, yeah, me too. And the stirring and all that stuff. But people say, oh, well, you can put frozen food in there and everything. But, and people use it for beans, but I've heard of them exploding, and it's probably because they cooked beans in there. Hey, Sharon, how you been? Yeah, we're keeping warm. Barely. I'm trying to stay inside. I don't go out much if I can help it. We did some gardening Saturday because we hadn't been out to the garden since the beginning of December, if not November, at all. So I was interested to get out there and see what was growing, see if anything died, harvest anything that we could. So we had a pretty good harvest. Yeah, I don't know. My mother-in-law's a big cookbook fan, but we kind of got rid of a lot of our cookbooks unless they were gifts from her, simply because everything is online now. Like I said, there were a ton of recipes on this with variations. So, but once I am done with this live, I'll copy this basic recipe down. But like I said, it's very forgiving. So you can kind of adjust spices as you like. How are you doing, Sharon? Are you staying warm up there? 11 degrees. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, I heard uh, Dan and Kimbers were given weather reports. So we're going to get down as low as 11. Wednesday, I think, Angela, you're going to get down that cold too. So, but oh, are you expecting snow, Angela? I don't think we'll get much. They're saying it's all going to be south. I guess you're not going to get any because it's all supposed to be south of us. Mainly, we're supposed to get maybe a quarter of an inch, maybe a third of an inch. But Macon and Columbus are going to get snow. And I guess North Florida is probably going to get snow. And when I lived in Orlando in the 70s, we got snow. And we had enough snow that we were able to pull it off of cars and make snowballs and have snowball fights. So it was a pretty generous amount of snow. I want to say that was maybe 75, maybe, somewhere in there. 74, 75. Oh, I got to turn this down. Got to turn it down. I was going to do trivia. I was going to do a Martin Luther King Jr. trivia today, but I decided just to go live and cook instead. Maybe I'll do it next year. I'm in a better mood. Okay, let's look at the food here. Yeah, I could add, I have a tomato over here I could probably add to this. And I do think I'll want more greens in here eventually. But like I said, this is a nice hearty meal. It's a nice alternative to chili. And with that coconut milk in there, super, super good. My mother-in-law is very adventurous, so she's one of the, and she's gotten me more like when I cook for her, or if I cook for a holiday, I'll be a little bit more adventurous because she's very forgiving. She likes to experiment. So this is one of her dishes. She usually picks some really good ones. But Bimbo Barbarella gave me a book called Farm to Table. And it's a pretty decent book. But I don't know. I may have cooked one recipe out of there so far. No snow. Yeah. Now we had some snow come through last night, like little flurries, little stuff. Hello, Yagami. How are you? Yahweh was a desert storm deity of Egypt, Arabia, and Jordan. Yeah, I don't know. Yahweh was a desert storm. Oh, okay, you're going to spam now. Oh, please. I love when these people come in here and spam, which is rude, while preaching. They're going to be rude preaching. Sorry if I offend anyone, but that's just rude. I don't know. I don't know what they expect to gain like that. I'm a 62-year-old woman, almost. God. All right, you're out of here. Let's see. Should I just, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, bye. Oh my gosh. Go make your own channel and do that. Back in 78, we had a blizzard here in Michigan. My husband was stuck at work for 3 days. Oh my gosh. That's crazy because y'all are usually better prepared. Was he on a hill or just in an area where they weren't bulldozing or anything? Because that's crazy. Now here, you know, it's Atlanta, so I'm sure you've seen the pictures of cars just parked and abandoned on the interstate. And I've seen them on highways just parked and abandoned. It's crazy. I guess people just walk home. That was the days before Uber and stuff. So I don't know if they had neighbors with trucks that got them home or what the deal was. Wow. I know I was born in a blizzard. I was born during a blizzard. My dad was afraid he wouldn't get there in time. Because he was kind of far away. He was on a sales call. But he made it. Maybe that's why I am the way I am. Came in like a blizzard. And I was a breech baby too. So, I mean, there were clues way ahead of time. But I was just going to be trouble. Definitely a handful. Definitely. Yeah, I couldn't imagine living up north. I couldn't imagine it. I mean, I think we're pretty lucky, Angela, to live where we live down here in the South. So what was it? Texas and Florida are no longer the number one state to move to. Last year, according to U-Haul, it's now South Carolina. So I imagine because it's more affordable, lower cost of living, you can buy insurance for your house and your cars. Except maybe there, well, Beaufort might be a little tough, but you know, I think as long as you're not living on any of the islands, Beaufort should be pretty good. You got the Isle of Palms there, though. They got hit pretty good by a hurricane. So they're not out of the woods, but if you're on the west side of South Carolina, you're doing all right. Who was it? The guy that sang for Milli Vanilli when when they were taping it and Milli Vanilli were really lip syncing to it. I forget the guy's name. Shaw? How? Shaw? No. Yes. I forget his name off the top of my head. Anyway, he was born in Anderson, South Carolina, which I find very interesting. For those who are watching, I do music trivia Friday nights, 8 o'clock. We've done the 60s, we've done the 80s, and next week we're doing the 70s. So if you want to join us, 8 o'clock Eastern time next Friday, we'll be doing that. For certain. And what else do we, so I had Chris bring in some soil from outside, and I thought we had seed starter, but then I remembered, we used it on the green stock to fill that up. And so this week I should be doing a video, maybe a live, I don't know, on getting my seeds started. That's going to be fun because that's all going to be indoors. If it'll keep me out of trouble, give me something to do indoors. Even though I have a ton of videos to edit. As I'd said, my goal was to go more live in the new year, do more lives. So that's what I'm doing. And let's see. So I hope to get that done this week. I have a doctor appointment tomorrow, and I'm dreading it. I thought about canceling it just because I don't want to get out in the cold. But then I was afraid, oh, well, she may not be, because I need refills, and she may not refill my medication if I don't make the appointment. Because I've already set it back once, or they set it back once, I think. So, because they were crazy and scheduled me the day after New Year's, I think, which was a Friday. So what do you do, Sharon, to keep yourself busy in the winter with it being so cold up there? Hey, Leah, what's up? Yes, John Davis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't remember. I'm old, Leah. Yeah, he died of COVID in 2022, I think. Yeah. How are you doing, Leah? You staying warm? What's up? Where did your name come up the other day? I think with Honor. It was a music-related comment. So, I do believe. Yeah, so we're doing 70s this week, Leah. Just to make sure. 70s music trivia, 8 o'clock Friday. No, you know what it is? A lot of it is that I don't know anything. So I write all of these trivia questions, so I'd have to do the research to get questions. Oh gosh. I imagine it's a slow, slow day. Everybody's staying in, keeping warm. But so yeah, once I do these questions, I go down rabbit holes and then I try to remember things. And it helps if I procrastinate and wait till the last minute because then I retain the information a little bit better. Because I don't always make notes of all the stuff that I learn. So, but yeah. So we finished our Leah, since you eat a lot of vegetables, I don't know if you'd like this or not. Chickpeas, sweet potato, kale in coconut milk, and I use a can of Rotel because it calls for tomato and cayenne. But I'm a Rotel. I put Rotel in everything. If it calls for any kind of pepper, serrano or whatever, jalapeno, I'm likely to just throw a can of Rotel in it because it all comes together in one can, and I don't have to buy a can of tomatoes and a jalapeno and then use the jalapeno within a set amount of. That's what I do. Yeah, and this recipe, I kind of fudged it a little bit from the original recipe. And if you go online, there are tons. You can use spinach instead of kale. You can use collard greens. And I threw some leftover turnip greens in with the kale today. The turnip greens were from last night. And it only called for turmeric and cumin, salt, pepper. But what I added was turmeric, cumin, ginger, and red curry. Not the paste, just the powder. And yeah, I'll take you over. And the chickpeas. So it's a nice one pot meal. And it freezes well too. I usually make this in a bulk, eat whatever, and then we freeze it. And then I'll get thicker, right? It'll get thicker when those sweet potatoes get nice and tender and start breaking down a bit. So you can add more greens, more whatever, less whatever. I was saying you could substitute, if you don't like chickpeas, you could always substitute dal lentils, like the red lentils, yellow lentils, because they're a pretty quick cooking lentil. So I think I'm going to add some more liquid to that because it looks like it needs a little bit more to get those sweet potatoes tender. I just took my hair down, so it's kind of a mess today. Showered and did all my prep. All right. I'm going to add this because, like I said, once that sweet potato starts breaking down, some of those fibers will thicken up this curry. It's really delicious. And I like that you can do like even more than this. Make a huge bulk meal and freeze it and have a bunch of them. But we usually eat it as a meal itself, kind of like a chili, you know. I mean, they recommend you serve it over rice, but we don't do that. We just eat this by the bowl full like you would a chili. So that's how we do it. And then usually after whatever's left over gets frozen, and then we will just eat it as a side dish with something else. But yeah, hey Alethea, how are you doing? Are you staying warm? Can you cut my hair for me? I don't cut hair. Sorry. Sorry, George. I don't. Not a hairstylist. I'm a retired engineer. So now I do YouTube. So not really fully retired because YouTube takes a lot of work. Believe it or not. I have videos too, George. So I do car shows. I do cooking, restaurants, travel, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Right now, I've been editing cruise videos that I've done from a cruise we took recently. So, I know, Alethea. At least you're not going to get any snow up there. We're going to barely get anything here. If the weather report holds true, we'll see. But that's the thing about living in Georgia. You never know what the weather is going to do. Especially in my neighborhood. There's so much asphalt around here. You know, there's like, you have that heat dome that happens. Everything tends to evaporate or be less by the time it hits here. You know, it could be coming from Alabama and be like tornadoes hitting everywhere and tornadoes hitting northwest Georgia. And then by the time it gets here, it just kind of fizzles out and then regroups on the other side of Atlanta. So, but not as violent. Leah, the way this weather has been this winter, I wouldn't doubt it. I know. Leah, did you get any of the snow? You got snow when we got the snow a few weeks. Was it last week that we got the snow? You got some then, didn't you? I know. I have one wool coat and it has, I don't know what got on it. And it's over my butt wool coat, but it's not full length. And then I have a vintage coat that I'm hoping to get skinny enough to fit into. That's pretty nice. It's lined. 27 snow then ice. Oh, wow. Snow last time. Yeah. I thought you did, Leah. And does it shut down that area, Leah, when y'all get snow? Now, I'll show you this coat I hope to fit into one day. Although I'm not looking forward to what. Like I said, I hibernate when it's winter. I don't have to go outside. I don't. This is a Paul. This is what's funny about this coat. Look at this coat. It's like this, almost like a, it's not quite magenta. But it's a Paul Stanley. It's a full length. It has buttons in the back. It's so well made. And then it has the, needs to be pressed. It has a pleat in the back. And it has a belt. And it has this nice little cuff details. And I love it. It's pure wool. But it's a thin wool. It almost feels like a cotton. Almost like a denim. It's a thin wool like that. I got it at the thrift store for like $10. And I wish I could find out when it was made, but I guess 60s. And it has padded shoulders too. But I love it. I never knew it had the buttons at the tail here. So that's kind of cool. You could make it into a tail by just unbuttoning the buttons. But then the buttons are hidden by the pleat in the back too. But one day, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. It doesn't say what size it is. But I do love it. I love the color more than anything. And the length. But most of my stuff is like, I also have a vintage mohair sweater by Leslie Faye. And I wear that a lot. It's a small, but it's fit me at my largest. Hey, Tribbles, what's going on? Yeah, they're getting pricey. It's called all weather wool. Oh, okay. I had no idea because it's very vintage. Do they even make all weather wool anymore? So, what's going on, Tribbles? Did you have a good time dancing the other night at the club? At the club? Thanks. I appreciate it, Tribbles. I need all the thumbs up I can get. There's a thrift store here called Last Chance, and on Mondays, everything is half price. And then, of course, they have the colored tag days. And they were the only thrift store that put everything by size way before Goodwill did. And I don't think all Goodwills do everything by size. Yeah. What I don't like about Goodwill is they don't take my Sky Miles card. That's what drives me nuts about Goodwill. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's crazy, Tribbles. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. You are up all night. Yeah, I went to sleep at what 4:30 or so, and then I got up at 8:30. I had a nightmare. I rarely dream, but I had. What did I eat? I had cashews and champagne. I had a glass of champagne and some. Did I have cashews last night?
I think so. I don't
Maybe. But that shouldn't have done it because I had a glass of champagne the night before and some cashews. Maybe it was the turnip. I don't know, but I had a terrible nightmare. I had a nightmare that we had helicopters flying over. Well, first there was one, then I saw, oh no, there were two. And then Chris wasn't in the house, and I realized, oh, he was up at the back fence. But it wasn't this fence. And it wasn't this property. And I was trying to get him to, I thought the helicopters were going away. And they came back around. So I was trying to get Chris to come in my dream to, because we didn't know what was going on. So I was trying to get his attention to get him in. And I saw him out the fence, and he looked up and he climbed over the fence because he was like standing up straight and looking. And in my dream, the way the interstate was, there was kind of like an embankment in the interstate. And I don't know why in my dream he could see something that I couldn't. But then this guy came over on a bicycle. And I don't think he saw Chris in my dream, and he kind of laid his bike down with his back to Chris, and Chris went after the guy. And then the guy turned around as Chris was like in front of him. And then I think I heard what sounded like fire, And then, I woke up. And I rarely dream. That was crazy. That's scary, Angela. Maybe I should back off. Please back away from the camera. His crevices are deep there. Bye, Angela. Take care. Stay warm. Yes, that's exactly right, Tribbles. We've had that card for like 20 years. So 20 years of groceries and miscellaneous stuff, and it adds up. It adds up over the years for certain. And then during, the pandemic, it definitely added up, because we didn't go anywhere. So, yeah, I think we're at... Chris said we're still at like 300,000 Sky Miles. It's ridiculous.
350, but who's counting?
Oh, 350,000?
Mhm.
Okay. Because it's a crazy thing too. Even though we flew for free, we still get those miles. Even though we use Sky Miles, it's great. The same with Marriott. Even though I had free rooms, I get points for those rooms for the stay. My lips have been so ridiculously chapped, as has my body. I get so dry, but I hate putting on lotion. I'm terrible. Yeah. Am I the only one that doesn't like lotion so much? I don't know why my doctor keeps calling me. Now they want me to check in online. I already confirmed yesterday. I'll check in when I get there. On my phone. I always go to my doctor and check in online on my phone while I'm sitting in front. No, Tribbles. Other than I have a lot of video to edit that I haven't edited. Yeah. I've never had nightmares on champagne. Right? What was there was one lotion I was using that wasn't too bad. But I cook every day and then I feel like I'm getting that crap in my food and I just don't like that. Just don't like that feeling of like ugh. And then I don't like Vaseline. It's a petroleum product. So I don't know. My elbows get bad because I'll sit here and work on if I'm working on my phone, I put my elbow on the table when I'm editing and everything. And then, so I get really chapped, dry, ashy elbows. TMI. I don't take any of that stuff unless a doctor prescribes it. Yeah, that's the same with me, Alethea. Unless it absorbs quickly. I think I had some CeraVe that would absorb quickly. And it's, dermatologist recommended and pretty clean product. So I do like that about the CeraVe. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I had some insomnia once when I was working. I was under high stress, and they gave me one of those sleep drugs. No, that was not a good idea. I felt exhausted the next day. I couldn't function. Oh, I don't take a bath. I only shower. I don't have time for a bath. I do have some moisturizing soaps, but you know. Oh yeah, I know that Tribbles. But no, I've not. I have a low stress life. I mean, we pretty much have one parent left in the family, and she's pretty independent still. So yeah, we have no stress. Little stress, other than trying to figure out when I'm going to start, you know, taking Social Security here. Yeah, most things make me groggy. So even if I have pain, like when I was in Puerto Rico, well, I guess by the time I took the medication, I was on the ship. I only took half a hydrocodone because I don't like that feeling. Like I didn't get any sleep. I need to function. I need to go. I need to move. So yeah, I can't deal with anything that keeps me groggy. So yeah. Somebody on one of the neighborhood apps next door said, I have muscle aches and pain, joint pain and muscle ache. What should I do? I said, go to a doctor to rule anything else out. Ask your doctor. Oh my gosh, there was a girl on, she just got online saying that she was having a financial hardship. And she was wondering if somebody could spare some food. And a lot of people stepped up. It was really amazing. But in the meantime, because she said, she was still working and ended up with cancer and was in treatment and had to quit her job. And um, all these people were saying, take, I couldn't believe it. And she was low on Powerade and couldn't afford it. And she couldn't afford Ensure because that's about all she could keep down. And they were like, Ensure is poison, Gatorade is poison, chemo and radiation is poison. You need to stop that. I was like, oh my gosh, these people are crazy, 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 crazy. Oh, those are addictive. I know somebody that got addicted to that stuff, Leah. And he was like, he had a family. His family came from some wealth. They were car dealers, like Volvo car dealers here. And yeah, he really suffered with that. He got badly, badly addicted to it. Wow. But he would take them recreationally. He'd be out taking them because he was one of my dance buddies back in the day. Yeah, I didn't do that stuff. Especially because they're kind of downers. I'm like, why do you want to take a downer when you're out dancing? Like, I didn't get that. Mm-hmm. Oh no, that's sad. Has he broken his addiction, Leah? I hope so. Do they even give those anymore? Because I think they were so highly addicted that maybe they quit doing them, writing prescriptions. Mm. I mean, I'd never heard of them until my friend was doing them. His wife was so cute. She was beautiful. And she always stayed home. Well, always. Not always. Sometimes she would, like, I met her a couple times, but she knew that we were always kind of like hanging out. And I wasn't that kind of gal. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Leah. Dang, that sucks. It sucks to be part of the system. Holy cow. I mean, because that's a terrible cycle. Once you kind of get in it, it's hard to get out of it. Especially when you have bad habits. I'm more for the rehab approach. So, if at all possible. If at all possible. So, Leah. Oh gosh. Yeah, but see, I see people like that, and that's why I just don't like. That's why I'm a halvesies on the hydrocodone. Take it as I need it because, um, well, I think after my surgery, I took it. The first day I took it as directed, but after that, it was like, we'll see how I feel, and I didn't need that money. That's why I have them now. But I don't know. I think addiction's a mental illness and should be treated like that. I add more liquid in here. So it's too bad because rehab's so expensive, though. That's the other problem. Oh my gosh. And who can afford it? And even like insurance really doesn't cover much. It's kind of like, physical therapy. Chris says, "Well, go to physical therapy for your hip." I'm like, well, what if I really, really need it? You know, what if something happens and I need surgery? Then I've used it up. Then I'm going to have to pay out of pocket. Like, no, no, I'll just try and stay as active as I can and deal with it that way. Oh, this sweet potato really is kind of already there. That was fast. How long have we been on? A full meal in less than an hour. This may have already been tender. I'm not really paying attention. I'm talking. So, did you watch Chris Bliss's live the other night, Leah? Oh, I'm sorry, Leah. Dang it. It just sucks. That just sucks. Wow. It's got to be hard, though, for a mother to have to bury her kid. That's the hard part. Oh. Well, the replay was pretty entertaining, actually. He cooked breakfast, which was really great. And he had, well, he had Mr. T in the background. I only know him from wrestling. Well, I guess he was live. And then he played, what did he play? He played some, oh, he was kind of playing country music. And Chris Bliss said country music and cooking breakfast on a Sunday kind of go well together. And then, who was playing? He played, dang it, I forget. Oh, he was playing some polka music. He had a polka album on. And then he later put on a Tijuana, like Mexican type music on that was really good. Vintage albums on both of them, obviously. And then he gave a tour of the slab and kind of talked about what he was doing. He has a whole new background he's getting all ready for. Then he shaved his beard off live. I watched the replay. So it was a very, very entertaining. He's a lot more muscular than I thought he was because he had to take his shirt off. You can't do country music. You know, some of the older stuff I don't mind, and I like Johnny Cash. But I don't know. Some of the new stuff, it's like you're a pop singer, not a country singer. Just because you put a twang on there, you know. And yeah, I mean, like the old, you know, Ray Charles did some country. Patsy Cline. Who else did country? Ray Charles. Of course, Johnny Cash. I don't know about the Waylon Jennings stuff too much. Now, I like the Wild and Wonderful. What was the name of that movie? That documentary, Chris?
What's that?
The West Virginia.
Oh,
the Whites.
The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Yeah, the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. They had Hank Williams Jr.'s son. Yeah, is the third on there, and his music was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, Chris is funny, but he's been hanging out with who's that? Michelle Mulaney or somebody. I don't know. Like I said, yes, Jessica White. I saw him pop up on YouTube. I can't. I just can't do that drama stuff. But so we showed my dad. We showed my dad that movie, and he's like, that family is messed up. That documentary was so messed up. He was just like shaking his head. He enjoyed it though. He went, Sue Bob, Sue Bob. But I said, oh, you think that's messed up? You got to watch this other documentary called Shut Up, Little Man. That was even better. And they were all at the same time, I think. It was great. Hmm. Yeah, Tennessee whiskey, that's a good one. BB King with Peter Frampton, that would be great. Yeah, I saw where he did some shows with Anthony Gomes, and Leah and I both like Anthony Gomes. He's a blues artist. I haven't seen any of his new stuff though in a while, Leah. I am not a great fan because I haven't listened to anything he's put out since. Trying to think what album. One with Purple Whiskey Sack, Revelation. Trying to think the last album from him. And then they all got, my CDs from him got stolen. So, yeah. I never saw BB, but I did see Ray Charles. Saw Jerry Lee Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis was good. And I saw them at Stone Mountain, where I saw Little Feat, Jefferson Starship, Johnny Winters. I saw Lee Greenwood there. I saw, man, I'm trying to think of all the bands I saw there. Used to be fun back in the day. Yeah, that was a great show. Oh, we saw Little Feet there. Who else did we see there, honey? Do you remember? I don't recall. The great thing about Stone Mountain was you could pay like whatever the entrance fee was. Like at the time, it was probably $15, maybe $12. And then the concerts were free. So it was crazy. Now they do all cover bands, though, like all the tribute band type things. So very disappointing. But Ray Charles was amazing. Really, really good. Yeah. Hey, Delphi Fernandez. Hola, soy Sharon. You're Sharon? Hi, Sharon. So what's the name Delphi about? Delphi? I guess it's Delphi. There's another Sharon that was in here. Oh no. Tribbles, that's awful. I could imagine. Now, I didn't like Rod Stewart's later stuff. I liked him on The Faces. I thought he was a much better vocalist then, and I liked the style of music better then, when it was more blues and not pop. That rots. Yeah. Yeah. When's he hit the Maggie May? That got so much airtime. It got so old. All of his stuff got old real fast. And I wish they had played some of the Faces stuff more than some of his pop stuff on classic radio. I mean, yeah, we're talking before Maggie May. We're talking the Faces was the name of the band he was in originally. Who else was in the Faces? Chris, do you know?
Um, shoot, yeah, the guitarist is known, but I don't know off the top of my head. It's a Wikipedia moment there.
No, I'm on a live. I can't wiki.
Right. I don't know off the top of my head.
I should do a story about this grave digger from Georgia.
Steve Marriott.
Steve who?
Steve Marriott. He left to form Humble Pie.
Oh, from Humble Pie. Steve Barria. He was also in the Faces. And who else?
Ronnie Wood was part of the band.
Yeah, Ronnie Wood. I thought somebody more famous was in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was Ronnie Wood, Rod Stewart, whoever you just said.
Well, and then of course the lesser known Ian McLagan, Ronnie Lane, and Kenny Jones.
Ronnie Lane, Kenny Jones, Ian McLagan.
Yeah, and Kenny Jones briefly played with The Who later on after Keith Moon passed away.
Yeah. See, I'm not like Bimbo. Bimbo probably would have known all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Tribbles said, then I was trying to get back to my seat. I was off balance because of everybody's stuff on the ground. I put my hand right on this girl's chest when I was falling towards her. Oh, no. I think that can be forgiven, though. I was in a club one time and a girl just came up and grabbed my chest, and told her husband that, or boyfriend, partner, whatever, that she wanted some just like mine. I'm like, these aren't fake. I guess she felt comfortable because she thought they were fake. Crazy people. Of course, I kept repeating. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. It is a concert. Nobody cares. I guess a lot of now, if you were a guy and did that, then, yeah, lots of great players in the Faces. I know, Tribbles. Well, and you haven't had any sleep, so, we're not great. We're going to grade you on a big curve. We understand what you mean. Bimbo, yeah, she was a wealth of information. All right, Leah. Dang bosses. I tell you, they're so bossy. Bossy bosses. Yeah. Yeah, she was. I was saying if this cold weather keeps up, I might have to go down to Florida in February just to get out of here. Defrost a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. That's the one good thing about living in Georgia is Florida's not that far. So I do enjoy that. But Suzanne's been wanting me to come down. Suzanne's thinking about moving up to Massachusetts part-time in the summer and then just wintering in Florida. That'll suck. But then I'll have somebody to see if I go up to Massachusetts besides Chris Bliss. I could have run into Bimbo down in South Florida. We hung out the same spots. We went to Sporting Mud Pit to see concerts. It's a small world. Yeah. So did you live down in South Florida, Miami or wherever? Because I lived in Miami, I lived in Tampa, I lived in Orlando, Titusville, Cocoa, Winter Park, Forest Park, Maitland. I lived all over Castleberry. I I lived in all the places. Ah, those are the worst. Those are the worst. Oh yeah, I can't. I can't do voice to text. I slur too much. When I listen back to some of my videos now that I'm editing in a different manner, um, I'm just appalled at my speech sometimes. When I say doesn't instead of does not or doesn't, I'm just like so lazy. Yeah, I lived in 163rd Street back in the 80s. Yeah, yeah, I liked it down there. I did. But I never went to Key West until about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So my dad had been stationed in Homestead at one point. So the rain in Spain goes nicely on the plane. Yeah, I loved that movie. There's a thing, an activity of my grandfather and myself after dinner. My poor grandmother, always in the, you know, the housewife role, always missed out on the fun. But she'd be doing dishes and cleaning up after she cooked and whatever, cleaned all day. And I guess I was a little spoiled in that regard with her. But when I was at home, like not staying with them, I did have to do a lot of cleaning, cooking, all that stuff. But my grandfather and I would retire to the living room and he would put on, you never knew. It'd be Broadway musicals or it would be classical music or it would be, even had like a Barnum and Bailey album with like Calliope music on it, which was crazy. We'd listen to that. I think between him and my dad, that's where I got my appreciation for a diverse amount of music. In fact, I took music appreciation in high school, and I was probably the only kid that made an A in it and really enjoyed the class. Raised in Miami. What part were you in, Tribbles? Yeah, I did spend some time in the Everglades when I was younger, camping and stuff, but not living there. And then we traveled down to Oh, you missed it. I had a Chokolosky Island T-shirt on the other day. Um, Actually, that's what I was wearing when I was gardening. And yeah, we went down there because my normally very positive, like sane husband read a story about this crazy guy down there. And so he wanted to go to where this guy was killed. And we went to his grave in Fort Myers as well. So, yeah, that was a whole crazy thing. How did you hear about him? You saw the book or something?
Yeah, I saw a review of the book and
A review of the book?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was his name? Watson.
Oh,
Now it's purported that he killed Belle Starr before he moved to Key West or Chokolosky Island. So
Watson.
Yeah, it was Watson. I always want to say Doc, but no, he's the bluegrass player. I don't know. Kids today don't know how to clean their tribbles.
Edgar Watson.
Edgar Watson. Edgar Watson. Yeah. See, he supposedly killed Belle Starr, but then there was a rumor that maybe her son may have killed her because he thought she had some money. So it's disputed, but whoever killed Belle Starr got by with it. Oh, wow. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I miss the water. That's what I miss is the water. Oh, of Florida. Not necessarily, well, I like swimming. I like the beach. I like walking around the beach. I was never one to lay out. Port St. Lucie. Yeah. Yeah, I go to Port St. Lucie a lot. We've spent a lot of time there. My former roommate lives there. I have all kinds of stuff. I have art auctions that I've been to there. What else? Restaurant reviews down there. We never have enough time there though. That's the problem. Even a week is too short. Ever killed who? Who, Nick? Edgar killed a lot of people. He supposedly killed Belle Starr in the West, and then he moved to Chokoloskee Island in Florida, and then killed a bunch of people there. He was just there's more to that story. There's a whole thing. I think he has a Wikipedia page as well.
Yes.
Oh, he does. He does. So, Edgar Watkins.
Edgar J. Watson.
Or Watson. Edgar J. Watson is the name. Crazy, crazy story. So, but we went to where he was killed, and there's talk of a general store there. The general store still exists. We don't have video of that, right? We just have photos.
Just photos, yeah.
I'm going to have to do photo montages of a lot of our trips to different places, different countries, different areas. My grandmother's sister had a tourist business where we'd make things to sell out of shells. Oh, yeah, for the little tourists to buy. Yeah, I remember all those. Do you remember all the clocks? The clocks made of shells and the little dishes made of shells, and sometimes they'd be dyed pink or blue or green. Those things are crazy. That brings back memories. I would love to have something like that in my house. Just like odd trinkets like that. I have some weird stuff. I have carvings. I have little, I don't know. I'll show. Once I start showing all the art that I own and have here, I'll probably go through my little trinket cabinet that you can't see. It's so dark and not lit, but I tend to not collect so much in the trinket world because I don't want to dust it. My mother's sister, don't keep saying the K word on your live, Jen. Oh, really, Renee? Sorry about that. Thank you, Renee. I love you. I can always privatize it. I can download it, edit it, re-upload it. Maybe. Yes, Tribbles. Exactly. Well, he wasn't so much a serial. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing down there. How do they get by with it on the true crime stuff, Renee? Because I know there are storytellers that do stuff, you know. And again, because I've had the argument with people that wanted to do copyrighted stuff on my channel. They're like, well, so-and-so does it. And I'm like, how do you know they're monetized, or how do you know they didn't get a copyright? Or a warning or whatever. Dang, Renee, thanks for letting me know. But I'm telling history. Even for a history story, that's crazy. I mean, there have been books written about this. And what's crazy is that as crazy as his life and I mean, can you imagine his being one of his kids? And didn't his wife disappear too at some
I
point?
don't remember.
But one of his daughters ended up marrying the first banker of Fort Myers, Florida. So she became very well to do. No, I'm not worried about that, Tribbles. I'm not worried about that. Like I said, I garden. As long as I can eat, I'm good. I don't know, but a lot of channels complain about. Oh, but I think they're starting to really clamp down on some stuff, Renee, because the guy from Grow Your Greens, he got demonetized. I heard he did a video about it, and I couldn't believe the reason why. So I couldn't believe the reason why. And what gets me, so the reason why was they said that he was promoting harmful things on Grow Your Greens. He's from California, so get the hint. So they said so what he's going to do is migrate all that stuff out. But in the meantime, he's demonetized. And I think I did say something like that, but on the G word. But hey, Cho, how's it going? What are you up to today? Don't you have your face to do or something? Just kidding. I love ya. Did you check out Adobe Express? Anyway, while he answers that, going back to the demonetization thing, what's really crazy is that, it's been on there forever, right? And it's totally good where he is. But then I think, look at the commercials that you see in between stuff. Oh, you did your face already? Or are you just like saying you did a face like, or did you like edit your face? Oh, the skincare on your face. Sorry, I'm slow. Too many subjects. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So but I think of all the stupid advertising that we see on here, and some of the stuff like, what is that? The advertisement on, hey, if you have high blood pressure, just eat a grapefruit. I'm like, how many people are going to have high blood pressure and then not go get meds, or not take their meds, or quit taking their meds, or eat grapefruit with their meds that you're not supposed to eat grapefruit with? I guess they're held to a different standard. Yeah. Just listening to my chit chat. Yeah. It's not as crazy as yours, Cho. I will say that. I missed you last night. Did you did you even see or get, so I was only in there for a minute because I was exhausted. But you pulled out a card and like, can anyone tell me the different definition of condescending? Did you read my comment? You skipped over it. You skipped over it. I said condescending is when your partner's anaconda sends you over the cliff. And that's another stupid commercial. The one where it will make your pole get bigger and make that tent rise. I mean, like, come on. Like, how many innuendos can you fit into one commercial? I mean, I've had to listen to it all the way through because it was so stupid. About as stupid as my definition is condescending. Joe, have you seen some of when I played that game I called Flapdoodle? We would take obscure words and we'd play like you have to define the word, but you got a point. If you didn't know it, you could make a funny definition of it and you could get a point for it. So that's what I was working off of. But everybody wants music trivia. They don't want to play Flapdoodle. And I liked Flapdoodle. I still have some words in my list to deal with. Plus, I could find some more. But yeah, we would have such a good time playing Flapdoodle. That game was fun. I've got all the lives still out there. I don't think any of them got taken down, even though some of the definitions was crazy. It was a fun game. It was crazy. But if it gets more interesting if you say you get a point if you do the definition correctly, and you get a point if you make a funny definition. And then usually what we would do is people playing the game would vote on the funniest definition. Yeah. And it's so funny because some of the best players were the people you wouldn't expect to give a funny definition. And it was usually a little bit perverted sometimes. We had a good time with that. But next week, Friday at 8 is what are we doing? 70s trivia. I usually do about 15 trivia questions. So about an hour and a half time. And then sometimes it'll be longer if we want to sit around and BS, but that's a winter activity for me. I do that in January, February, and then once it gets warm enough for me to start gardening, that's it. I focus on my garden stuff. So, but we do have fun. But I've been doing winter trivia for like 4 years because we need to think. We need to have fun. We need to laugh. We need to learn. Right, Renee. I do miss Bimbo Barbarella. She was the greatest. She was so entertaining. Oh my gosh, you never knew what you'd get out of her. Oh yeah, Cho. This week I had my husband bring in soil and some seed starter. What I'm going to try is I'm going to try and I have those big cups that I've saved from, whatever that one gardening thing is where I bought plants. So I have those little cups saved. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put soil in the bottom, but seed starter on top. So I can get my seeds going, but as they grow, I'm not going to have to, transplant them into something else once they sprout. I'm going to give that a try. And then here's a tip. I gave this tip the other day when I was working in the garden. I have shop lights. I don't have grow lights, but I have shop lights. And I read that if you're starting seeds, you can use the LED shop lights because they don't need the, They don't need the red, and shop lights put out a 1U, and the grow light puts out 2 other colors, I think red and green or something like that. So let me see. I'll show you where I put my plants though. And I like this because I'm hoping once they grow up, and I had some success with this last year. See, I have this stainless steel thing here, and I have a window here, and I have a window here. So it gets pretty good light. And then I have a heater like right here, up here. And so what I do, well, this is stuff from under my cabinet that flooded. But what I do is I just put the plants here and, I hope for the best. And then I'm not, when the seedlings aren't sprouting and growing here, then it's on wheels, so I can roll it easily right back here. And there's the dishwasher I need to get rid of. It works. Does anyone need a dishwasher? My dishwasher went out. My old microwave went out. Well, the dishwasher didn't go out. I had to have plumbing redone. So I had just said to Chris, the dishwasher was about to go anytime. And the sink had flooded, needed new plumbing. So I just said, since we're going to have a plumber here, let's just go ahead and get the dishwasher and the plumbing done at the same time before we have another flood, because I've lived here 6 years and we've had 3 floods. I'm done. Oh, here's our dish, Joe. So it's sweet potatoes, greens, chickpeas. I put a can of Rotel in here and sweet potatoes. The greens are from the garden. I cheated on the sweet potatoes. I have sweet potatoes from my garden in the freezer, but I was just like, they're cut different. So I just went ahead and bought some for this. And then there's coconut milk in here and cumin, a bunch of turmeric. I put the powdered red curry in there and a bunch of ginger, and there's garlic in there and red onion. It is so good. It is so good. That's what's going on our belly tonight. So it's good at this kind of weather too, because it is so, it calls for cayenne, but I was saying earlier, if something calls for tomato and some kind of spice or a chili or serrano or jalapeno, I'm just going to throw in a can of Rotel, because I don't have to worry about something happening and the pepper rotting or me not getting to it right away. So that's what I do. I just use a can of Rotel for anything like that. Oh yeah, definitely. And I was saying, if you don't like the chickpeas, you can always put red dal or yellow dal in there instead, like the lentils. So, because a lot of people don't like chickpeas. But I find with the coconut milk, it makes the consistency of the chickpeas are really creamy once you start chewing them, But I still have some collard greens that I harvested. So I may throw some more greens in there just to get some more iron and stuff. So, but yeah, that's dinner tonight. I'm going to make some mussels sometime, maybe next weekend, because I'm trying to do some Super Bowl kind of recipes. And yeah, so we'll be doing that. Yeah. So Renee, if you haven't seen that show, y'all haven't seen that show, he's pretty cool. I mean, we have differences in opinions on a lot of stuff, but then we're also a lot alike in a lot of ways. In fact, when I started going through his videos, I found that he went to Miami. I went to Miami. He's garden. I've garden. He likes to cook. I like to cook. We like teas. He doesn't like all the teas I like, but we like teas. But yeah. We fly Delta. That's another thing we found we had in common. How long have I been hanging with you? Just like a couple weeks. I met you a couple weeks ago and we had that big debate. And you couldn't get rid of me after we had that fight online. It wasn't a fight. It was a good debate. I really enjoyed it. I love you too. But yeah, we do have our differences. But, I get it. So, yeah, I think we have fun. I think you're, it's the kissing and making up you like. No, and tell Leah, because I know she called me an a-hole, but tell her I'm not offended. We're cool. I think she got that, but, I don't know. We'll see. But you know, you talked to her on the side and she's your mod, but that's fine. It was all good. Oh gosh. But what was funny is probably the person that grew up the most spoiled in the whole chat was Chloe, and she was on my side with that stuff. I mean, she grew up in Monaco and Switzerland. That's okay. No, that's okay. Well, see, I was new to your chat. Well, I don't think I was new. I think I had been there once before, and then I came on strong in the second chat. Yeah. And I just like, right, the more on YouTube I see these people living in their cars, the more I'm like, ugh. I just said, like, we just had a meeting with our financial advisor because I've been afraid to take Social Security. I qualified this year. I start qualifying. I don't need the money. So I've been like, but it's money. It's money I could take and invest in something else, you know? So thanks, Joe. But, you know, so I'm like, should I not? I don't want to end up living in a car, you know, because I know the economy is crazy and things are getting more expensive. Everybody here is complaining that their power bill has doubled. Like they're used to $250 bills, they're getting $500 bills. That's a lot. Extra $250 a month, and you're paying an extra $100 a month for food. It's a lot. That's a lot. So, I don't know. I told Chris I can control growing more food. I can't control everything else. So the goal this year is to grow more food. So it's just the way it's got to be because I'm cheap. So cheap. And I like to travel. So if I'm going to travel, I've got to find a way to do it and not break into my savings, you know? So, because at 70, then I have to take out of my savings. So, I try. But what's nice is that, you know, you can move down here to Atlanta. This is the place, really. Because, and Alethea will tell you this. Well, she flies out of a different airport now, but she used to fly out of Hartsville. But, yeah, right, Alethea? I mean, we're almost have to for that security. So, and again, it's something you can control, is growing more of your own food. But the beauty of living in Atlanta is, you know, I can drive down to Florida. I can be in Jacksonville in 5 hours. You know, we can be on the northern panhandle in 4, depending on where you go. And then Orlando's not that far. Miami's a schlep, you know, and I know you like that, but I've driven from here to Jupiter before, which, you know, is my favorite beach. And then flights, because it's the hub of Delta, flights are so cheap. I mean, some of the most expensive trips that we've not paid for. And I'll say why, because we have a Sky Miles card. So we put everything on Sky Miles card that we can. But when I was flying to West Palm all the time, when my friend lived in Jupiter, the tickets were like $200 round trip. So I'd just buy a $200 ticket as opposed to using my Sky Miles. But I would use them on flights like St. Lucia, where it's a $700 round trip ticket. You know. Yeah. And Atlanta is more affordable. It's getting tighter. Like well, they just built some new homes near me. They're, now it's so weird because the 8 bedrooms across the street that are all brick, they're three side brick, I think. Those can sell for almost 500, but there's 7 bedrooms in them. 7 bedrooms. But the brand new ones that are like 5 bedrooms in the neighborhood, they're selling for, well, they say 500. I'm going to guess 550 once you get into it. So it's getting less affordable. No, I did not, Onalee. Nope. No, I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube stuff. I watch, that type of thing. But this is not a political or religious channel. So we try and keep things light because that's always in your face, Onalee. And so I personally go to YouTube to not have to deal with any negativity or anything that's controversial. Now, if you want something controversial, go to that show. I may say stuff. You too, show. I'll see you later. Have a good one. Love you. Yeah, 7 bedrooms, crazy. But you have everybody's living there. Grandmothers, parents, kids, everybody. And the kids will never leave the house because that's that generation. They don't even know how to drive. They don't even have cars, and one's in college. Annalie, okay. I don't do this often, but yeah, you're gonna have to be put on. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So go subscribe to that show and go for it, honey. Go for it. His videos are more relaxing and calm. I know. Mine are just like, hey, let's jump into it. Here we are. Let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah. But anyway. But yeah, go see that show. You'll like it over there, Annalie. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, that's why people like my channel, is because there's no drama or any of that stuff. We try and keep it light. We try and keep it light. So I've been down here yakking for an hour 42. You know what I need to do is I need to do a late night. Like, show is on till 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm exhausted. And I need to get out of that habit. I need to be asleep by midnight. But he's throwing me off. But I can always watch him on replay. But I need to try the late nights, because I'll see people in chats at late night have, a bunch of people in their channel. Here today, there's more people going live, I'm certain. I am absolutely certain. But anyway, so Renee, Alethea, I'm going to head out of here. Leah, don't work too hard. And let me know if I need to write you an excuse for work. So, and I missed Kiet. I'm in Oregon with my aunt. That's awesome. I love Oregon. It's beautiful. It is gorgeous. Angela, if you're still watching, I appreciate it. Triples, if you're still here, thanks. Nick, good to see you. Alethea, I have said goodbye to you. Everybody stay warm, stay safe. Adios, Sharon. Kale, Delphi. And but everybody stay warm, stay safe. If you're not feeling well, go to the doctor. Pneumonia's been going around. Oh, Delta and Virgin Atlantic, parking at Atlanta Airport. Yeah, we don't park in Atlanta Airport. We park at MARTA. We take MARTA in because it's half the price of, or more, of parking at the airport. So, yeah. Yeah, I do like it. But yeah, we park, MARTA's much easier. and they're open. And the thing is, this is always a good tip. If you have a late night flight coming in and you're not getting to your car till late, sometimes they're not, well, used to be Brookhaven. Brookhaven's not open anymore, but Brookhaven had an attendant. And if the attendant wasn't there, you didn't have to pay. So we would be there for a week, 2 weeks with our car and never have to pay because there'd be no attendant. It was great. But now most of them are electronic. Last time we didn't get a ticket going in. It wasn't working, and we parked for this vacation we just took. But coming out, they were able by my tag to tell how long I was there, and they charged me, and that was good. So, Tribbles, get some sleep, girl. Get some sleep. I'm going to bed early tonight. I just can't. The 4 hours sleep last night just wasn't enough. So bye everybody. Love y'all. I'll see you later. Thanks for joining. And yeah, I don't know. I think since I was telling history, I'll be okay. But we'll see what the moderators say when I go to public. But I don't think they're going to take this down. But maybe I should download it just in case. But don't they, Renee, do they give you an opportunity to edit it and put it back up? I don't know. I think you only cannot edit if it's over 6 hours, according to Camp Gmail. That's why they're asking on this Kurt Fest coming up that anybody who performs any, so what he does is he edits out any copyright stuff and repost it when they do open mic. But for Kurt Fest, they're asking that people not do cover songs or anything unless they use a specific karaoke provider. Okay, Renee, that's good to know. We'll see what happens, but I'm hoping since it's history that oh well, I'll know what this is because so far I've not had any I mean, what do you have to say? Disinfect germs? I mean, that's kind of silly. No, you want to germs. I can't say it. You want to K the germs. You want to K that really good dish you just made because it's care. It's so stupid. It's so silly. Anyway, I love y'all. Take care, and we'll see you later. I can go check out Renee's Secret Garden. I'm so glad you're feeling better from having the flu, and I'm glad you broke out of the hospital. Love y'all. See ya. Obliterate. Yes, there you go. Who knows? That might become a off-limit word one day too. I'm waiting for them to take the pew pew out. Start demonetizing those people. Who knows? It's gonna come. It'll come. See y'all. Love you. Bye.